Remember when this was the only notification you were worried about? Before the endless scrolling and constant updates, before shattered screens and batteries that die by lunchtime, these little bricks were our entire world. They connected us, entertained us, and honestly, they were built to survive just about anything. They were more than just plastic and circuits. They were our diaries, our gaming consoles, and our lifeline to friends. These weren't just phones. They were our connection to everything. Today, we're taking a journey back to a simpler, more durable time, looking at the 7 legendary Nokia phones that didn't just define our childhood, they built it. The name Nokia used to be synonymous with mobile phone. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the Finnish company was an undisputed titan, and it felt like they controlled the entire global market. They weren't just making phones. They were pioneering the very idea of mobile communication for everyone. These devices were revolutionary not just for their technology, but for their cultural impact. They became status symbols, fashion statements, and the absolute center of our social lives. From the first text message to that unbeatable high score on Snake, Nokia was there. In this video, we're counting down 7 of the most iconic models that left a permanent mark on our generation. This isn't just a list of specs, it's a collection of memories. So, get ready for a wave of nostalgia as we explore the tech, the stories, and the unforgettable feeling of holding one of these legends in your hand. Kicking off our list is the grandfather of them all, the Nokia N95. Now, this might not be a phone you personally carried, but its existence is the reason you carried any of the others. Launched in late 1992, it was Nokia's first mass-produced GSM phone, and its model number 1011 is a nod to its release date, November 10th. GSM, or Global System for Mobile Communications, was the new digital standard that would eventually let our phones work all over the world. The 1011 was the device that took this complex tech and put it into a package that, while definitely chunky by today's standards, was ready for the mainstream. Picture it. It's 1992. Mobile phones are mostly sci-fi props or massive gadgets for wealthy executives. Then comes this device. It was big, it was heavy, weighing nearly half a kilogram, and it had that classic pull-out antenna. The battery gave you a whopping 90 minutes of talk time and could last 12 hours on standby. It could store an impressive 99 phone numbers. But its most groundbreaking feature, one we now take completely for granted, was the ability to send and receive SMS text messages. This phone was a pioneer. It didn't have the famous Nokia tune yet. That wouldn't show up until 1994. It had no games or customizable covers. But what it did have was the future. It represented the moment the mobile phone started its journey from a niche business tool to an essential part of daily life. Every text you've ever sent, every call you've made on the go, owes a small debt to this black, blocky, and utterly revolutionary device. It was the starting point, setting the stage for every other phone on this list. If the 1011 was the blueprint, the Nokia 5110 was the masterpiece that brought mobile phones to the youth market. Released in 1998, this phone understood something critical. A phone wasn't just a tool, it was an accessory. It was an extension of your personality. And how did it do this? With one simple, revolutionary feature: Express on covers. Suddenly, your phone wasn't a boring gray brick anymore. It could be red, yellow, blue, or one of the countless custom designs that flooded the market. You could match your phone to your outfit, your mood, or your favorite band. It was the first time our phones became a genuine fashion statement. This concept was a game changer, turning the mobile phone into a must-have item for every young person. I remember saving up my allowance, Not for a new video game, but for that translucent blue cover I saw at the mall kiosk. It was a small piece of plastic that made the phone feel completely and totally yours. But the 5110 wasn't just about looks. It was built like a classic Nokia, tough, reliable, with a battery that seemed to last forever. It also had a fantastic, crisp monochrome display that was perfect for its other major claim to fame. It was one of the first Nokia phones to feature the game Snake. This simple, addictive game became a global phenomenon. School breaks were suddenly filled with the quiet, intense clicking of keypads as everyone tried to beat their friend's high score. The 5110 was the perfect combination of durability, customization, and entertainment, cementing Nokia's place in the hearts and pockets of an entire generation. As the 90s came to a close, the trend in tech was clear. Smaller was better. And in 1999, Nokia changed the game with the 8210. Unveiled at Paris Fashion Week, this phone was a marvel of miniaturization. When it was released, it was the smallest, lightest Nokia phone ever made, weighing a mere 79 grams. It also did away with the external antenna, a design choice that made it feel incredibly sleek and futuristic. The 8210 was pure style. It took the express-on-cover idea from the 5110 and refined it for a more sophisticated, fashion-forward crowd. The phone became a status symbol, popular with people who wanted cutting-edge tech without the bulk. Its tiny design meant it could slip into any pocket or small handbag, a huge contrast to the larger dad phones of the era. I remember seeing one for the first time and being blown away. It looked like something from a spy movie, impossibly small yet fully functional. Despite its tiny size, it was packed with features. It had an infrared port, which was a huge deal back then. You could beam contacts to other phones or even play two-player Snake without any wires. It was a taste of the wireless connectivity that would define the next decade. The phone also had a crisp monochrome display with a distinctive green backlight that was instantly recognizable. The 8210 proved you didn't have to sacrifice style for function. It was a tiny titan, a phone that made a huge statement by being incredibly small. Some phones are famous. One phone is legendary because it was chosen by the one. I am, of course, talking about the Nokia 8110. Released in 1996, this phone was already a standout piece of design. It was part of Nokia's high-end 8XXX series and featured a protective slider that covered the keypad. Its gentle curve when the slider was open earned it the unforgettable nickname, the banana phone. But its place in pop culture history was cemented in 1999 with the release of the film The Matrix. In the movie, Neo's crew used a modified 8110, featuring a spring-loaded slider that snapped open with dramatic flair. That simple, satisfying action made the 8110 the coolest piece of tech on the planet overnight. The real phone didn't have that spring-loaded mechanism, you had to slide it manually, but that didn't matter. Everyone wanted the Matrix phone, answering a call by sliding the cover down and ending it with a satisfying snap made you feel like you were dodging bullets in slow motion. The 8110 was more than a movie prop. It was a high-end business phone and one of the first with a monochrome graphic LCD that could display more complex information. It was sleek, it was innovative, and its appearance in The Matrix perfectly captured the futuristic optimism of the late 90s. It represented a time when technology felt magical. HMD Global, the company that now makes Nokia phones, even released a 4G revival of the 8110 in 2018, complete with a banana yellow color option, proving that true style never goes out of fashion. The 8110 wasn't just a phone. It was a cultural icon that let us all feel like we could bend the rules of reality, at least for the duration of a phone call. And now we arrive at the undisputed king of durability, the icon, the meme, the legend, the Nokia 3310. Released in the year 2000, this is perhaps the most beloved and nostalgically remembered mobile device of all time. Its reputation is built on one simple truth. This phone was practically indestructible. You could drop it, throw it, maybe even run it over, and it would just keep working. In an age where we live in constant fear of our fragile glass smartphones shattering, the memory of the 3310's resilience feels like a superpower. But its toughness was only part of the story. The 3310 perfected everything that made Nokia great. It had express-on covers for personalization and an internal antenna, which still felt modern. And the battery life? It was monumental. We're talking a standby time of anywhere from 55 to 260 hours. That's potentially 11 days. People would go on vacation and forget their charger without a second thought. The 3310 was also where mobile communication really came of age for many of us. It featured the T9 predictive text system. T9, meaning text on 9 keys, was a revolutionary feature that let you type messages by pressing each number key only once per letter. It learned the words you used most and made texting incredibly fast. I can still feel the muscle memory in my thumb, flying across that keypad. And, of course, there was Snake too. This sequel added new mazes and bonus items, elevating a simple game into a full-blown obsession. The 3310 wasn't just a phone. It was a companion. It was the device we used to send a risky text to our first crush, the one that entertained us for hours, and the one we knew would never, ever let us down. It's not just a legendary phone. It's a benchmark for reliability that has yet to be beaten. Before the App Store, before mobile photography was an art form, there was the Nokia 7650. Released in 2002, this device was a total game changer. It was Nokia's first phone with a built-in camera, and for many of us, it was our first real introduction to the idea of a smartphone. It ran on the Symbian OS, a platform that let you install third-party apps, opening up a world of possibilities beyond what came in the box. The camera was the star of the show. It was a 0.3 megapixel VGA camera, capturing images at a 640 by 480 pixel resolution. By today's standards, that's tiny, but back then it felt like absolute magic. To reveal the camera, you had to slide the phone's keypad down, a satisfying mechanical action that felt incredibly high-tech. Suddenly, you could capture a moment and see it instantly on the phone's large 2.1-inch color display. This was also the first Nokia phone to support MMS, meaning you could send those grainy, pixelated, but absolutely priceless photos to your friends. The 7650 offered a glimpse of the convergence that would define the next 2 decades. It was a phone, a camera, and a mini-computer all in one. It had Bluetooth, an infrared port, and a web browser. It was big, a bit heavy, and expensive, but it was also aspirational. It was the device you saw in movies and dreamed of owning. My friend's older brother had one, and we would just stare at it, marveling at the fact that you could take a picture with your phone. The 7650 may have been a stepping stone, but it was a hugely important one. It laid the groundwork for every smartphone that followed. Just before the smartphone world was changed forever, Nokia released its masterpiece. This was the peak, the culmination of everything Nokia had learned. This was the Nokia N95. Announced in 2006 and released in 2007, the N95 wasn't just a phone. Nokia called it a multimedia computer. And honestly, they weren't wrong. This device was absolutely packed with cutting-edge technology. A true Swiss Army knife that could do it all. Its most iconic feature was the innovative two-way slider. Slide it one way to reveal a standard numeric keypad for calls. Slide it the other way and you got dedicated media controls for music and videos. It was a brilliant design that made the phone incredibly versatile. And the features it packed were staggering for the time. It had a phenomenal 5-megapixel camera with a Carl Zeiss lens, which was better than many digital cameras on the market. Could shoot near DVD quality video. It had built-in GPS, a feature almost unheard of in a phone back then, turning your device into a real navigation tool. It had Wi-Fi 3G for fast internet, a front-facing camera for video calls, a standard 3.5mm headphone jack, and stereo speakers. The N95 was a powerhouse that truly put the internet, media, and communication in your pocket in a way no device had before. For a brief, shining moment, the N95 was the most powerful phone on the planet, a final, glorious showcase of Nokia's incredible engineering. It represents the peak of a mountain, the last glorious moment before the smartphone landscape was redrawn forever. It's a legend because it showed us the full potential of a pocket-sized computer, just before the rules of the game were about to change. And that's our list of the 7 Nokia phones that shaped a generation. From the first digital call to a full-blown multimedia computer in your pocket, these devices were more than just tech. They were milestones in our lives. But this is just my list, and I know I've missed someone's favorite. What was the one Nokia you'll never forget? Was it the gaming-focused N-Gage? The stylish 7280 lipstick phone? Tell me your story and your favorite model in the comments below. I genuinely want to read about the memories these phones created for you. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations of the tech that made us who we are. Looking back at these 7 phones, it's clear they were so much more than plastic and circuits. They were witnesses to our lives. They held our earliest text conversations, our highest scores, and our first blurry photos. They were our connection to the world and to each other, all powered by a battery that simply refused to die. In a world of fragile, disposable tech, these Nokia legends stand as monuments to durability, innovation, and a time when a phone was a simple, reliable friend. They were the start of it all, and while the technology has moved on, the memories they helped create will last forever. Thanks for watching.